What's going on, everybody? We are live. What's up, YouTube family? Hello to everybody on Facebook on the S3 Podcast page. What's going on? Hopefully, your week is going very well. It's Hump Day. Hump Day. You're listening to the S3. I'm JD. She is Ms. Lady M. We're actually going to dive into some NFL Week 9 matchups today. We are going to go over our Pick 6 locks of the week, along with the top college football games in top 25. There's actually only like 2 games, but one of them is really good.
Yeah.
I may actually want to be home to watch that one. We'll talk about that in a second. And, of course, buckle up. NASCAR Playoffs go to Martinsville with 2 spots remaining for the championship 4. Who's going to get it? Who's going to get kicked out? There's a possibility that the defending champion, Ryan King Blaney, does not make it. If you've listened to the show, you know why. We actually we call him by that name. That is his name from this point forward. Based on what was the show that we were watching preseason? It was NASCAR Speed or something like that they put together.
It's Full Throttle or something along
something like that
on Netflix, whatever it is.
It was good. It followed
really
it just followed the playoff drivers through the championships, and Ryan Blaney's girlfriend at the time, now wife, said at the beginning of one race before he got in the car, she grabbed him and said, "Remember, you are Ryan fucking Blaney." And ever since then, we've been calling him Ryan fucking Blaney. So I don't even like the guy, but he's kind of rubbed off on me a little bit. He is rubbed off on me just a tad. So, all right. Prior to this, like, despite the computer issues I had, I was listening to one of my favorite albums, Weezer's Teal album.
Yeah.
Oh, that's one of it's just an entire album of like covers. And I love it. I could listen to that album over and over again. So I've got Peter Griffin in my head singing that song.
Right.
You know? Yeah. So anyway, all right. What's first? What's going on?
I'm supposed to talk after that. Get it together. All right. Headlines and horrible dad jokes.
One of us is supposed to be in control here. It's not going to be me. Headlines and horrible dad jokes. Yes, the headlines may or may not be horrible, but the dad jokes definitely are. Headline number 1, Detroit Lions wide receiver Jameson Williams, currently under a 2-game suspension for violating the league's performance-enhancing drugs policy, now has a warrant out for his arrest for carrying a weapon without a concealed carry license. Now, to be fair, the weapon is legal and is registered. He was pulled over with his brother. There were 2 weapons in the car. Both weapons, one belonging to him, one belonging to his brother, were both legal, both registered. So it wasn't like they were like riding extremely dirty. However, his brother was the only one with the concealed weapons permit.
Anybody that needs to hear this in Arizona, especially since we're a bit gun friendly here, it is, if you have it in the glove box or where it's not immediately visible when it's in your car, it's concealed. So you have to have that permit.
You have to have a permit
that way. Otherwise, that shit better be like right on the front seat.
So there's a warrant for his arrest. I have not looked to see if he's turned himself in yet. I'm assuming he will, and I'm assuming it'll just be a fine that he has to pay for it. They made it very clear that if you break the law in Detroit, doesn't matter who you are, you're going to get arrested. So, which is funny because initially they didn't arrest him. They actually let him go after.
It would be a warrant, right? Because otherwise you would have been picked up right then.
Yeah. So they handcuffed him, but after making multiple phone calls to like higher ups, they decided to let him go. And then after further investigating and looking over everything, they were like, okay, it is the law. We have to issue a warrant. So Jameson Williams from the Lions does have a warrant out for his arrest. I'm assuming he turned himself in already. But I guess he's going to go get his concealed carry license from this point forward.
Right.
So,
right.
All right. First joke. When I die, I want to be cremated. It's my last chance to have a smoking hot body. Headline number 2, Yankees stave off elimination in a big 11-4 win at Yankee Stadium last night. Game 5 is tonight in just a couple of hours. Do the Yankees win and move on tonight to game, what would it be, game 6?
I want to
Or
say,
do they lose?
statistically speaking, given what the SmackDown was yesterday, the chance is a little bit higher that they might win tonight too. But since the
What if-
Dodgers won the first 3 games unanswered, the chances are significantly higher in the Dodgers' favor overall.
Well, I was mentioning yesterday, the Yankees know very well that a team can come back from being down 3 games to none, as my Boston Red Sox did it to them. So
Right.
any chance I can just backhand them, I go for it. I go for it. Screw them. They ruined my childhood. That should be my T-shirt.
Screw the Yankees. They ruined my childhood. Yeah, you can make that T-shirt. That'd be funny.
I totally could.
I hope the Dodgers just clinch it tonight. Let's put it that way. I don't like the Dodgers either. For the record, it's just you're picking between.
The Dodgers are the lesser.
You go with the lesser evil.
Being from the Boston area, the Dodgers are the lesser of 2 evils, right?
Right.
Now I want to make that shirt. Screw the Yankees, they ruined my childhood. I'm making that shirt as soon as this is done.
You should, because
I'm totally doing that. All right. So I think they're done. I think they lose tonight. There's no way they're coming back. So they just get it over with. They lose tonight. Dodgers will have a parade on probably Friday in LA. All right. My doctor told me I was going deaf. The news was very hard for me to hear. Headline number 3, Colts. The Indianapolis Colts have benched quarterback Richardson, decided to go with veteran Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
Footsteps Flacco. I like the move. I know you're trying to get the youth movement going and everything, but Flacco's just a better quarterback right now.
They've been trying to push the youth movement a little too hard. They're not giving these kids a chance to gain any real experience or to learn anything. They're just shoving them out there. And
Jalen Daniels kind of ruined that.
That can like break them. You know what I mean? Like if they don't have any of that foundation sometimes, and like Mac Jones is a good example. I think he had a lot of potential, but he was not ready.
Well, to be fair, in the Mac Jones case, he had a great rookie year. Yeah. They went 10-6 and went to the playoffs.
Right.
And then they decided they wanted to do it
and just drowned.
Well, no, what happened was they decided that we didn't really need an offensive coordinator to work with Mac Jones. So they put a special teams coach and a defensive coordinator in charge of calling the offense and completely screwed everything up. And now he's riding the bench in Jacksonville.
Right.
So, all right. You know, I hate it when people say age is only a number. Age is clearly a word. Headline number 4, Texans wide receiver Stephon Diggs out for the remainder of the season with a torn ACL. Texans still waiting on Nico Collins to return from his injury, possibly as early as November 10th matchup against the Lions. Until then, Tank Dell, Robert Woods, and Xavier Hutchinson will be the main receivers. Tomorrow night, they take on the JETS, lost to the PATS. All right. All right. So I asked my ex-wife if I was the only one she slept with. She said yes. All the others were 7s and 8s.
Rude.
That's probably more true than I actually wanted to think about it. All right, what's next?
NFL Week 9.
Was I the only one you slept with? Yes. The others were all 7s and 8s. All right, moving on. This week, bye week for the Steelers and the 49ers. Let's start off with the Thursday night game. We just mentioned it a second ago. Texans at 6-2 at the Jets at 2-6. Now, normally I would say, well, the Texans, you know, they don't have much depth at wide receiver, But even with what they have, they are still a better team than the Patriots, who just beat the Jets.
Right. Right. The Jets have been doing a lot of specific finger pointing at an individual. Be like, it's your fault. Like they did, like they fired Saleh.
Yeah.
Obviously,
and the offensive coordinator.
Right. And nothing good is like that made no difference. I think they're playing worse. So just saying,
if it was Robert Saleh's fault, if it was their offensive coordinator's fault, how come they haven't won a freaking game since they let him go?
Yeah.
That's my question. And you added Devontae Adams to your offense.
Right. Right.
Killing me,
that team's just a hot mess.
I'm going to be curious to see who you pick for that matchup when we go over our pick six here in a minute. The Dallas Cowboys badly need for a win. They're 3-4 at the Atlanta Falcons, who are 5-3. I'm liking this Falcons offense right now. I got to tell you,
getting into.
I really am. Yeah. Kyle Pitts is showing up this year like everybody wanted him to last year.
Right.
He is balling out. I'm definitely going to have him on my DFS team this weekend, 100%. The Dolphins at 2-5 with Tua back at the Buffalo Bills. Now, usually with Tua back means you're going to put up some points, but apparently you can't score enough points to beat the Arizona Cardinals.
Right.
And now you're going to go into Buffalo and beat the Bills? No, I don't think you're going to.
They either brought Tua back too soon or they just weren't ready to get back into stride with him right off the bat, but they did not look the way
they just looked ugly.
Yeah.
They looked ugly. Their defense gave up in the second half, allowed Kyler Murray to run everywhere.
Just quit trying.
Make some huge passes. It's going to be interesting to see that game. Well, no, it's not because the Bills are going to win that game. All right. The Raiders at 2-6 at the Cincinnati Bengals at 3-5. Cincinnati's probably the most surprising team in all of football right now.
No, for reals. Like there's nothing makes sense about whatever is happening to them this season at all.
You can't tell me that the biggest, because they've got their core wide receivers. You can't tell me that the loss of their starting running back, because their current running back's been doing pretty good. And what Boyd at wide receiver is the reason why the Bengals are playing as bad as they are. You still have probably the best tandem, arguably the best tandem of wide receivers out there, and you're 3-5. If they don't win this week, they're completely done. Like there's no chance at all for the playoffs.
What? It awkwardly reminds me of Moneyball, because on paper, this team should be doing really, really well, but there's obviously something that's not gelling in real life.
I don't know what's going on with them.
Me either.
I don't know, but I do know that they absolutely should beat the Raiders. They should beat the Raiders, right?
Yeah.
All right, the Chargers at 4-3 at the Browns, now 2-6. Jameson Winston went out and got a win for them last week against Baltimore. What?
Right.
First off, I went off on Deshaun Watson's contract as soon as he signed it. Unfortunately, it took them this long to realize that, that wasn't worth it.
No.
At all. If it actually took them this long to realize it.
Yeah.
So,
the kid is not living up to anything in that contract. But
the Patriots looking like a team that doesn't want to draft inside the first 5 picks are at the Tennessee Titans. The Patriots could actually win 2 games in a row.
What's going on with Drake May, though? Did he end up being out for a concussion? Are they going to hold him for a couple of games?
I think he's a game time decision right now. I think he's a game time decision. I mean, Brissett came in and won the game for them last week. So the Patriots, personally, it kind of pisses me off because
we'd be okay regardless, but it'd be nice to know that Drake wasn't really seriously.
But at this point, we're not going to make the playoffs. Do you really want them to win like 6 games and pick like 10th or 11th in the draft?
1 or 2 more for my entertainment would be fine.
No.
Look, we're already
I'm a diehard fan, and my diehard fandom says
the Titans and they the Panthers are already ahead of us for losing, so to speak. And there are
Yeah, but
a
if the Titans
whole
beat us, then
bunch of
they'll be
teams
ahead of us.
that are at the same level as us. So it's
But I'm saying though,
holding the
if the
losses will
Titans beat
help
us, they'll be at 2-6. We'll be at 2-7, which means we'll get a better draft pick.
us.
Look, I'm all about building for the future. I want them to win, but they are not going to win with this teams. And the only way to do that, if you can't get free agents into New England because it's called tax of friggin' Massachusetts, right? And you don't have Tom Brady to go play with, you don't have Bill Belichick to play for, you got to pick up the players in the draft. And the only way to do that is by having a worse record.
Yeah.
Right? This draft seemed more.
There's a lot of other teams tied with us, and it's not really going to matter.
No, we suck bad enough. We can be worse than that. We can totally be worse than that. We just came across a part of our schedule that looks pretty easy on paper. Right. I do not want to see them like the Raiders 2-6 are a better team than the Patriots at 2-6 because they have a better defense. I think.
can actually agree with that. Yeah.
And they have former Patriot Jacoby Myers now as the number one. I like Jacoby.
Yeah, me too.
All right. The Commanders at 6-2 at the New York Football Giants. What a way to win last week by the Commanders.
That was the coolest win. That really was. Replays were awesome. Hail Mary.
That was pretty
2 seconds left. 2 seconds left for the Hail Mary for anybody that didn't see the game. It was pretty spectacular.
I loved it. Everybody is trying to put blame on the one defender. The one defender that was talking smack to the crowd as the play was going on.
Yeah,
no, he got into position. His job was to cover the left side.
Yeah,
the ball was thrown like right center. So the fact that he even got over there was pretty good. Should he have been talking trash to the crowd before the end of the game? I don't know. Like, I'm not a pro. I don't do it. Whatever. But like there were like 8 other players there, including the one guy that's supposed to be. They actually practiced to have a tip guy in the back for when the ball gets tipped. He's supposed to be in the back. Instead, he's in the middle of the whole pile, jumping up to get the ball. So it's not just all on one defensive player. That was stupid. That should not have happened.
Well, and it was an absolutely brilliant throw. No matter how good you are at the defensive maneuvers, there's always that chance that it would have connected.
That was a deep throw. 64.5 yards, something like that, 65 yards through the air.
Right into the guy's hand.
Pretty good.
Just like, yeah.
All right. The Saints at 2-6. These are two teams. Like, if there's one game that I definitely do not want to see on national television, it's this game right here. The Saints at 2-6 at the Panthers 1-7. Bryce Young will be starting again this week for the Panthers.
Okay. I thought they had decided to bench him. They changed their mind.
Well, no, because he damaged his thumb in the car accident. So, like, he's back up. He can play, but they're still going with Bryce Young, which to me is like a last-ditch effort to see if they need to draft another quarterback in this year's draft.
Right.
Just 2 years after taking a quarterback in the draft. So we'll see what happens with Carolina. I can't pick Carolina to win anything. Not to mention, they just traded away their number one wide receiver. So they're pretty much done.
They're in that place, though. If they have any member of their team that's actually doing well, someone's gonna pirate them.
Yeah. The Broncos at 5-3. This is a young team with an extremely young defense that's really freaking good. Their corners are solid. The Broncos are playing out of their minds right now on defense, 5-3. They are at the Ravens at 5-3. This is a good test for Bo Nix on the road at Baltimore. Like, this is a shot to where you can scoot ahead somebody in the playoff rankings, right? Could you imagine? Would you like at any point before the season started said the Denver Broncos are going to be higher in the playoff rankings than the Baltimore Ravens?
No.
No. Even after the first 2 games, they sucked.
Yeah.
The first 2 games. And then all of a sudden they turned it on. Like, Bo Nix is playing out of his mind. I love it. It's good stuff. All right. Speaking of teams that are not playing out of their minds, the Jacksonville Jaguars at 2-6. They beat our Patriots overseas at their new home. At the Eagles at 5-2. The Eagles are playing well right now, too. They've got everybody healthy, everybody back.
Yeah, they seem
Like
like
that
they
offense
got
looks good.
a little bit of their feet under them because they started
Still,
off.
my biggest beef with the Eagles, and I understand it works. The push works,
Yeah,
right? But you have someone like Saquon Barkley who will rush 60 yards on a drive, get it down to the one, and then instead of rewarding him, you give it to Hurts. You just push Hurts in. Push Hurts. He's got like 9 touchdowns because everybody else did the work down the field, and he just needs to get pushed into the end zone.
Right.
Like, you freaking kidding me right now? I understand the goal is to score points. You could probably score points from the one with Saquon Barkley.
Right.
I'm just saying. Give Barkley a chance instead of doing the damn push and giving the credit to Jalen Hurts. If Barkley like does all the freaking work, give him the ball on the one.
On the third down and still get their points. It's also trying to have like a real, yeah.
Come on now.
I feel you.
All right. The Bears at 4-3. They lost to the Commanders on that Hail Mary last week. Sorry, Bears. You are currently in the desert playing the Arizona Cardinals this week. Actually, they're probably not here yet. They'll probably fly in on Friday.
Right.
But the Cardinals at 4-4. Wow, 4-4. We're a 500 team. Arizona radio is freaking blowing up about this team. 3 weeks ago, everybody was destroying here the Arizona Cardinals because Kyler Murray can't see over his offensive line. Right. All of a sudden, they're talking playoffs, winning the West.
That's
like, it's
Cardinals fans,
unbelievable.
Though. Remember the undefeated guy that one year?
Oh, when they started out 4-0 and he came into the Pats bar just yelling 4-0. 4-0. They won like one game the rest of the season.
Yeah.
4-0.
The whole rest of the season.
Now they're yelling 4-4. We're 4-4. You're a freaking 500 team. All right. Your division sucks right now, but look out for the Rams. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. Matthew Stafford now has both of his wide receivers to go with a top 3 running back in the league.
Right.
Like this, and you have Parkinson at tight end. This offense is going to start putting up points now that everybody is healthy. It's going to be scary. Like, I may even pick, I think I'm going to pick, I'll say it right now. They're not even in first place. The Rams are going to win the West. No doubt about it.
Okay.
The Los Angeles Rams are going to, I know we got a friend playing on Seattle. Shout out to Jackson, but the Rams are going to win the West. That offense is scary. You have Kupp, you have Puka, you have Williams, you have Parkinson, you have a Super Bowl winning quarterback. You like that offense is going to start averaging probably 35 points a game. I haven't even looked to see who they're playing yet. Who the hell are they playing? Oh, they're coming up. They're at the Seahawks. 4-4. They're going to win. They're going to win. Now, before I said they were going to win, I did know that Metcalf may not play this week.
Right.
Their top wide receiver. But even with him healthy, I think the Rams would go into Seattle and take that game. As a matter of fact, I may even lock that in if you don't do it first. I get first pick this week.
You do.
I get first pick this week. All right.
I mean, we're tied, but I was ahead last. So
yeah, you were ahead. Just rub it in. Do you have? Where's your trophy? Where's your trophy at? Yeah, that one. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just surprised that you've had that thing for 2 weeks and you have not like dressed it up yet. Seriously.
I have to make the clothes for it. That's going to be a whole thing. So
you're not going to have it long enough. I'm going to win this week. So like, no clothes for you. All right. Your Lions at 6-1, and I know you're a Patriots fan, but the Lions have been your underdog team for like 5 years.
Well,
right? So you're sticking with them
over a decade.
All right, so they are 6-1 going into Green Bay at 6-2. The question is, do you start your starting quarterback at like 70%, or you do your backup quarterback at 100%? And your backup quarterback has won a couple of games for you. That's the question. Me personally, like, just keep giving the ball to Josh Jacobs.
Yeah,
it'll be fine. Keep giving the ball to Jacobs, especially against the Lions defense. Lions give up a lot of rushing yards. All right. The Rams, who I've already mentioned, are 3-4. They are going into Seattle to take on the Seahawks. I'm taking the Rams all day in this one.
Yeah.
There isn't a chance in hell that Seattle wins this, especially without DK Metcalf. The Rams offense looked great last week. It reminded me of their Super Bowl year. Like, you got Nakua healthy, you got Kupp healthy, Parkinson down the middle, Williams running the ball, Stafford not throwing picks. It was a thing of beauty to watch last week. It was. And I think it's only going to get better, personally. All right. Next up, Sunday Night Football. You got the Indianapolis Colts with Footsteps Flacco taking the reins. Where did I get that from? What movie did I get that from?
No idea.
Oh, how are you, my girlfriend? You don't even know this.
You know I don't
Footsteps
know.
Flacco. If you're watching this on live, put it in the comments where I got Footsteps Flacco from. What movie?
He thinks I'm going to
I
remember
changed the
every
last
line
name
in
to
every
protect
movie
the
I've
innocent.
ever seen. All the
Yes.
of them. No.
When I say Footsteps Flacco, it should remind you of an awesome football movie with one of the greatest fictional linebackers ever, Danny Bateman, going after the ball. Who, by the way, Danny Bateman is played by the guy that writes the Avengers, directs the Avengers, produces the Avengers. Favreau, yeah. He plays this insanely just crazy linebacker named Danny Bateman. It's The Replacements. Oh, if we haven't seen that together, we have to watch that. It is so fun. I don't think I've ever Gene Hackman's in it. Keanu Reeves.
Shit about a movie I've never even seen, sir.
Hey, look. If you missed out on one of the best comical sports movies out there, then that's your fault. Definitely. Now we have to watch it. Now we have to watch it. We'll probably have to rent it. We'll probably have to rent it because they're cheap. We're gonna go to Blockbuster and rent it. Are there any Blockbusters left?
There's one somewhere in the U.S., but I don't think it's anywhere near Arizona.
Do they still do VHS movies or do they do DVDs?
That I have no idea. I would assume DVDs, but
The Replacements for me is probably I'll say it's a top 15 sports movie. Top 15 with all the different sports and everything that are out there. Personally, I loved it. I love the story. Footsteps Flacco. In the movie, Keanu Reeves plays the quarterback. His name is Falco, Shane Falco. They called him Footsteps Falco because of his college days. And so now I refer to Joe Flacco as Footsteps Flacco. All right. Great movie. Great movie. If you haven't seen The Replacements, where the hell have you been? Go watch it. We're watching it tonight. I know I got a webinar to do. This is more important. All right. So we got to watch it tonight. All right. Monday Night Football, the Buccaneers and all of their injuries with their one guy named Cade Otton catching the ball at the Kansas City Chiefs. There's no way in hell they go in to Kansas City and take down the Chiefs with all their injuries. No way. They may cover.
Yeah.
Because the Chiefs like to let teams hang around. I haven't even seen what the line is on this game yet. It's probably between 6.5 and 9.5. Because they don't have any receivers.
Right.
They have zero receivers. They got one tight end by the name of Cade Otton that caught 27 balls last week. He will be on my DFS team on Sunday. That's the only thing I can give you. He'll have more receiving yards than Travis Kelce. He'll have more receptions and more receiving yards because they have nobody else to throw the damn ball to.
Right.
They really don't. You can throw it to your back. You can throw it to Irving or White. That's about it. This is either going to be really ugly or I don't know. Maybe it'll be close. Maybe it'll come down and they can shock the world. Who knows?
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into our pick 6 locks of the week. Going for the Golden Bragger Award. Go ahead and show the damn thing off again. You've kept it now for 2 weeks in a row. Yeah, that thing right there. It's coming back home to the guy that actually bought the damn thing. All right, Thursday Night Football. I get first pick. Texans at the Jets. Even. I think Tank Dell's going to have a really good game this week. Hall could have a really good game. I can't give any credit to Aaron Rodgers. I can't. He has looked old. He has looked horrible. It looks like he's just on the field to say that he's played in a certain number of games in his 40s.
Right.
He doesn't look good at all. They went out and got his best friend back at wide receiver, and they look nothing like they did 4 years ago. Granted, it's only been 2 games. Right?
Yeah.
But do you really forget the tendencies of your number one wide receiver that you had for 6 years?
You shouldn't.
You shouldn't.
Yeah, no, he
All
definitely
right.
looks like he slipped.
Aaron Rodgers just doesn't have it. I'm taking the Texans to take down the Jets. Suck. You lost to the Patriots.
Yeah.
That's the end of the downfall. You weren't supposed to lose to the Patriots again for another like 5 seasons.
Right.
Once
Like
you lose
as
to the
Patriots
Pats, it's
fans, we're
over.
saying this, so
It's over. It's over. I did not expect them. I didn't expect the Pats to win. I watched the game, had my Pats shirt on. I was cheering for them. Didn't expect it at all. They won, especially with Jacoby Brissett as the quarterback at the end of the game. Anyway, all right. So who you got? You got the Texans. You got the Jets.
Texans.
Who you got?
I could not possibly go the other way.
I think Joe Mixon has a really good game this week.
Yeah, no, for me.
Mixon's been balling out lately. He really has, and I don't think the Jets can handle him. So I know Hall is due for a big game. He's had okay games, but like if you're playing DFS, you got to be kind of iffy. I know Greg Zuerlein is out. I don't even know who the hell their field goal kicker is going to be for this week. I know Zuerlein is on IR, I think. So can't have him on your team. Initially, when I did my DFS picks on Stochastic, it said Zuerlein, and I had to look him back up. I was like, all right, let's go ahead and just give me lineups without Zuerlein since he's pretty much not even on the team right now. Right. So I had to redo all the damn lineups. I have over 100. I have about 150 lineups I got to input come Sunday morning. So I'm going to be up here in the office a lot over the next couple of days. All right, Sunday night football. The Colts at the Vikings. Again, footsteps Flacco taking over the reins. You got Jonathan Taylor Thomas in the backfield. I mean, with a good quarterback, this offense looks decent. Now, are the Colts good enough to take down the Vikings? The Vikings have lost 2 in a row now. They have not looked good the last couple of weeks. I'm going to say the Vikings win. I know the Colts have a decent defense, too. I'm going to say the Vikings pull this one out. It's going to be a close game, though. I think it's going to be a lot closer than most people think. So give me Minnesota. Who you got?
I am also going to pick the Vikings. I don't think the Colts have a chance against them. I mean, they had a rough couple of games, but I feel like they're going to come back out swinging. So
you're just trying to hold on to the Golden Bragger Award, is what you're doing.
That too.
Just keep picking the same
I'll have
picks
time
as
to
me.
make them
That's going to change in a second. No, but it's like people that want to dress up dogs. No, stop it. No. They're descendants of wolves. Why are you putting them in a freaking tutu?
That's funny.
Stop. Stop.
You Come laugh on. At my cat when I make her wear things.
Cats are stupid. Dogs are awesome.
Yeah.
Dogs are man's best friend, and cats are evil and plotting to take over the world. Your cat has proven me right on both of those occasions. Jesus. Pet me with your eyes. Yes. How many of you out there have evil cats? Seriously. They just beg to be pet, and then you reach your hand out, and they freaking bite you.
This is, mine's a little
She has a cat like that. She has a cat like that. Yeah.
She's special needs person.
Bites you, too.
She bites everything.
Jesus. All right. That's Sunday night. Monday Night Football, Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Chiefs. Chiefs go 8-0 on this one. Tampa Bay just doesn't have anybody through. If they lock down Cade Otton, that's the only other weapon that they have. That's it. So, and they're not going to run the ball all day against Kansas City. It's not going to happen. I got the Chiefs in that one. I'm assuming you're taking the Chiefs as well.
Yeah.
All right, let's switch it up a little bit. Let me look at the lineup here. I'm taking you know what? It's do or die for the Bengals right now. They can still make the playoffs. They only have 5 losses. Mm-hmm. You can make the playoffs with 10 wins here. Go 10-7 possibly. The Bengals going to go on a run. At least that's what I'm hoping for. So I'm taking the Bengals over the Raiders, which on paper shouldn't be a stretch at all. But if you've been watching them, it's kind of scary. You know, there are other guarantees out there that I can go after, like anybody playing the Panthers or anybody playing, well, the Patriots and Titans play each other. So it's going to be interesting for that one. But I'm taking the Bengals this week. Who do you got?
I actually think this game is going to be a good one, and it's going to be really challenging and really close. But I'm going to go ahead and say Lions over the Packers.
I already
But
knew you were
if
going to.
there's somebody that's going to be a defeat for them, that's going to be this game. But
Did Jameson Williams turn himself in today, though? That's the thing. The warrant was this morning. Maybe he already turned himself in and he's already out.
Bail or what?
But will he be playing, though? Because I think he's still under like the 2-game suspension for performance-enhancing drugs.
Right.
So there is that. But then they got Khalif Raymond, who showed up last week and was the other guy all of a sudden. It just seems like for Detroit, like if you can't get the ball to St. Brown,
right,
Amon-Ra, they can't get the ball to him. It's like somebody just steps up and becomes, oh my God, why didn't I put him on my DFS team? Right? It's like just out of nowhere. He has like 160 yards and 3 touchdowns, and he runs one back for a friggin' punt for a touchdown. All right. So you got the Lions. All right. I'm taking the Rams over the Seahawks. I'm telling you, the Rams are going to put up some friggin' points this weekend. Like, the hardest part is deciding if I'm going to put any of them on my DFS team, because he's got Parkinson, he's got Nakua, he's got Jefferson, he's got the other guy, the blonde-headed guy, which escaped my mind, Cooper Kupp. And like, how do you pick one to have a big game? So if I had to pick one, I'd probably go with Nakua. I'd probably go with Nakua because he looked really good last week. All right, so I'm taking the Rams over Seattle. Who you got?
I'm going to cherry pick. I'll take Commanders over the Giants. Let's face it, there's just...
It's a rivalry game.
It would be a really crazy football upset if that went the other way.
It's a rivalry game. It's going to be I think that's going to be a very high-scoring game right there for the New York Football Giants. I'm not saying they're going to win, but I'm saying like they're going to put up some points this week because Daniels likes to be in shootouts. So he doesn't want it to come down to one score. He wants to put up like 60 points in the first half.
Right.
So, all right. So you got the Commanders. I never bet on my team. I'm going to take the Pats. I'm going to take the Pats going into Tennessee. I'm going to do some challenging picks. There, Ms. I want a cherry pick so I can keep the Golden Bragger Award on my screen.
Right?
It's all right.
I think I want to see that game. Maybe worth going out to so we can watch it.
This is true. And it's 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock, daylight savings time. We don't change our clocks. We just jump time zones. So on Sunday, for anybody in Arizona, on Sunday after 2 a.m., we jump time zones. We don't touch our clocks. We can't make that excuse here of being late for work because we forgot to set our clocks. It's always the same freaking time here.
Right.
So we don't touch our clocks. We just jump from Pacific Standard Time to Mountain Standard Time. There is a part on the reservation up in the Northeast that they change their clocks.
Of course.
All right. I don't know why. It's whatever.
Oh,
all right.
Goodness.
So who's your last pick? Last pick. There's a lot of good games here. There's a lot of good games here. The Bills over the Dolphins. You picked the Cowboys to get a win this week. Okay, then pick the Cowboys.
Well, the Lions wasn't really cherry picking. I want them to win.
Is a cherry pick.
But the Packers are playing at their level. So
yeah, but you don't know if Love's gonna play or not. Maybe they got Malik Willis starting. You don't know.
Feel like that's also cherry picking. My gut is I want to take the Saints over the Panthers, but that's also still cherry picking. So,
but is it really though?
I might be splitting hairs at this point.
Pick the Saints. I dare you to pick the Saints. Please pick the Saints. I think I've lost every bet this year on the Saints.
That was
I'm pretty sure of it.
That was the last one. So
the Saints started out 2-0 and then everything went downhill.
Locked in.
All right, you got the Saints over the Panthers. All right. That's the locks of the week. What's next? Jesus.
College football, top 25 matchups.
There's only one matchup that matters to me this week. Number 4, Ohio State at 6-1. At number 3, Penn State at 7-0. This game is being played at Beaver Stadium, University of Park, PA. This is perfect football weather. Well, not for here because we would be bundled up in freaking blankets if it was 48 degrees. But partly sunny with temps around 48 degrees at kickoff. Should be a really good game. Ohio State's only loss this season was to number 3, now number 1, Oregon by 1 point. And that was on the road at Oregon. And they lost that. So that was their only ranked matchup that they had on their schedule. Penn State is undefeated with a win against number 19, Illinois. This is their highest ranked matchup on the season, so they really haven't been tested. The question is, are they good enough to take down Ohio State. I mean, you got the home field advantage, you got the crowd behind you, right? It's a rivalry game, Big Ten matchup. I'm looking at the X factors. I'm looking at Penn State's running back, Nicholas Singleton. He's number 2 on the depth chart behind Katron Allen. He averages a team high 6.4 yards per carry and has a team high total of 7 touchdowns, 3 rushing, 4 receiving. If Penn State pulls this off, he will play a huge part. I say he gets in the end zone twice in this game. I'm taking Penn State plus 3.5. I don't know why. I'm feeling a little crazy. Why not? Ohio State's going to end up with 2 losses, which nobody's seen, but I'm going to say they have 2 losses. I'm taking Penn State plus 3.5. The other ranked matchup is number 18, Pittsburgh, at number 20, SMU. Tell me if you got this one bookmark on your calendar. No, nobody does. Pitt's first ranked matchup that they played all season. SMU has a win against 22nd ranked Louisville. SMU minus 7.5. SMU's offense is big. They're putting up 40, 50, 60 points a game, right, on some of these teams. So I'll take them for a little over a touchdown. I'll take SMU minus 7.5. Other college football games that we are keeping an eye on based on who we cover. Air Force 1-6 at 21st ranked Army. Go Army, beat Army. Navy. Army is 7-0. They shouldn't have any problems whatsoever. The over-under in this game is only like 46. I think Army's going to put up a 50 spot on their own,
right,
on this team. So if I was to bet in this game, I would definitely take the over. I would take the over 100% on this one. Army's going to put up 40-plus points on their own. Maybe Air Force puts up a score, but I doubt it. All right, next game, Arizona State sitting at 5-2 at Oklahoma State 3-5. Oklahoma State came out like on fire. They were 3-0 out the gate. They've lost 5 straight games, including one game to Utah, who Arizona State beat right here at Mountain America Stadium. As a matter of fact, I was on the field doing my I Am Here videos. I love doing those videos. Look, as a sports fan, why wouldn't you want to be on the field?
Right.
Why wouldn't you want to be? Why would you want to pay for a ticket? Why would you want to stand in lines? Why would you want to pay for overpriced? If you could be a freaking member of the media, which, by the way, that webinar is tomorrow night. Go to CoachJeffDeBurs.com. Sign up for tomorrow night's webinar. I'm going to teach you how to build your own sports media brand so you don't have to pay for tickets to get into the games. It's stupid. Don't do it. All right. Arizona State's coming off a loss at Cincinnati. Oklahoma State, again, has lost 5 straight games. Maybe they can pull this one off this week. I'll take ASU to cover, though. Boston College, by the way, is off this week. All right. What's next?
NASCAR at Martinsville.
All right. First off, I got to give like a shout out, major shout out. That was one hell of an ending to the race last week at Homestead, Miami. That was insane. Like, very rarely does a crew chief call a Hail Mary like in racing terms and tells his driver to stay out, and they hope for a caution flag. And then after hoping for a caution flag, it turns out the caution flag actually comes from your top 2 drivers, 1 and 2, when Kyle Larson spins out trying to pass Ryan Blaney for the lead. That was the caution with like 13 laps left. And the cool thing was that Reddick pitted the lap before. So everybody else went into the pits, get new fuel and tires. Reddick stayed out. He was on the front line. So, and then he passed Hamlin going into turn 1 on the final lap. And then he blew around, like made him look like he was sitting still. He blew around Ryan Blaney for the win. It was awesome. It was beautiful. It worked out exactly how they planned it. Basically, they didn't know who the caution was going to come from. Just insert caution here and then follow the rest of the story.
Luck was on their side for that
Great win last week. The standings after the win last week: Joey Logano's already into the championship 4. Tyler Reddick now in to the championship 4. That leaves 2 spots left, and currently Christopher Bell is sitting in the number 3 spot. He is 29 points to the good. Number 4, William Byron is in right now. He is 7 points to the good. So,
Okay.
Kyle Larson, 7 points under the cut line. Denny Hamlin, 18 points under the cut line. Ryan frickin' Blaney is 38 points under the cut line. And Chase Elliott, fan favorite Chase Elliott, 43 points back. If you're anyone like from Byron on up, you have to win the race. So Byron, Larson, Hamlin, Blaney, Elliott, you got to win the race. Because I don't think like a top 5 finish can actually move up. Go ahead.
I'm actually a little surprised Larson's down where he is, given that he's had multiple wins this season and is always coming in the top.
I mean, it's the playoffs, so everything gets reset. Everything gets reset in the playoffs. So everything gets reset in the playoffs. So, yeah, because he wiped out last week. He still finished like 6th. But everybody else, like the top 6 drivers, were all playoff drivers.
Right.
Yeah. So, all right, let's look at this weekend's schedule. They are in Martinsville. Let's start with the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. That race is the Zip Buy Now, Pay Later 200. Zip Buy Now, Pay Later 200. The famous Zip Buy Now, Pay Later 200. The place, of course, is Martinsville Speedway. That is Friday, November 1st. That kicks off at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on TV on FS1 at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. The purse is a total of $672,417. If you're listening on radio, you can listen on MRN Radio or Sirius XM NASCAR Channel 90. The distance is 105.2 miles. That is 200 laps, by the way. Stage 1 ends on lap 50. Stage 2 ends on lap 100. The final stage ends on lap 200. Which, by the way, Malcolm in the Middle has a full-time seat next season in the Craftsman Truck Series.
That'll be neat.
So, what's his name? Munoz?
Freddie Munoz,
right? Yeah, something like that. Yeah, we'll go with it. Malcolm in the Middle. Yeah, got it. All right. The Xfinity Series. National Debt Relief 250. That is on Saturday, November 2nd. That kicks off at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a total purse of $1.441 million. That is on the CW at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, you can listen on MRN Radio or Sirius XM NASCAR Channel 90. The distance is 131.5 miles or a total of 250 laps. Stage 1 ends on lap 60. Stage 2 ends on lap 120. And the final stage ends on lap 250. NASCAR Cup Series. The Xfinity 500. Again, the place is Martinsville Speedway. That is Sunday, November 3rd at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a total purse of $8.991 million. That is on NBC at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can listen to the race on MRN Radio or NASCAR Radio, Sirius XM NASCAR Channel 90. Distance is 263 miles for a total of 500 laps. Stage 1 ends on lap 130. Stage 2 ends on lap 260. The final stage ends on lap 500. Current active Martinsville pole winners. Joey Logano has 5 poles at this track. His latest one was 2019. Denny Hamlin has 4, also 2019. Kyle Larson got the pole at this same track last year. As a matter of fact, I think he won at this track last year as well. Martin Truex Jr. has 2. Kyle Busch has 2. Ryan Preece and Chase Elliott both have 1 in 2023 and 2022. Active Martinsville winners. Denny Hamlin leads all active drivers with 5 wins. His latest was in 2015, though, so almost a decade ago. And he needs a win this week. Martin Truex Jr. has 3. William Byron, Brad Keselowski, and Kyle Busch has 2. And then Blaney, Larson, Bell, Bowman, Elliott, and Logano all have 1. Most recently, again, though, William Byron won Martinsville last year, and he is currently sitting in the 4th and final cutoff spot heading into championship weekend at Phoenix. Who's going to win? If you had to pick a playoff driver to win this week, who's it going to be? Cup Series.
Good question.
Who's it going to be? You got Reddick, Logano, Bell, Byron. Actually, let's go with drivers that are not locked in.
I would like to see Bell take it, but the easy answer still feels like Kyle Larson. He's had a hell of a season, so it wouldn't
I'm
surprise
saying
me.
William Byron's going to take it. I think Byron's going to
Byron?
take it this week. Well, he
I
won
wouldn't
last
mind
year.
that either.
Most recent winner. He's been racing pretty good. He finished like sixth last week, but yeah, he's on that cutoff. So he's going to have a hell of a race. I expect him to be top 5 the majority of the race and hopefully even pull it off. So you're taking Larson, which would not be a shock to anybody if Larson pulls off the win this week.
Bit cherry picking, honestly, but we'll see.
So, all right. So you got
Anything can happen in
Larson. I
racing.
got Byron.
Okay.
Who gets the final spot? Does Bell hold on to the final spot? He's currently in third with 29 points to the good.
I think he can. He's got the talent and the ability to cling to it. So.
He was in the championship 4 last year.
Yeah.
Can he do it again this year? Yeah, I'll take Bell and Byron. Byron to win. Bell comes in like second or third. I'll take that. Who do you got to go with Kyle Larson?
I still think Bell can keep it in there. So
all right, so you got Larson and Bell.
Yeah.
So you got Byron out, and I've got Larson out.
Yeah.
Larson and everybody else in the red out. All right.
Right.
Let's do that. That was a good show. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget Sports Media X webinar for tomorrow night or evening at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, not specific or specifically 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Make sure you sign up by going to CoachJeffDemers.com. Scroll down, click on the button, go ahead and reserve your spot. You're going to learn how to build a sports media brand based on your knowledge and just your fandom. Fandomonium is what we're going to call it. Actually, we're not. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a good webinar. I'm going to get some great information out there to see if being in sports media is actually for you. Check it out. Lady M, what is the final word?
Keep loving sports.